Station 1. Put 3 sugar cubes in the glass jar. We're supposed to draw a picture of what they look like before. So I'll just have you pause here. Draw what the sugar cubes look like in your journal. Okay, so now that you've drawn what they look like before, we're going to put them in our jar. And put the lid back on. And then the instructions say to shake the cubes inside of the bottle for 45 seconds. Now it's been 45 seconds. We need to look at our sugar cubes and see what they look like now. So in your journal, you're supposed to draw what they look like. You can pause it here. And that is Station 1. Okay, Station 2, wind erosion. I have a box, and in this box there is a pile of sand at one end with some heavier rocks and shells here. The instructions tell me that I'm going to use a straw and I'm going to blow air into this for 30 seconds and we're going to watch what happens to the sand. So let me position you, and for what it's worth, I am wearing goggles because safety first. Nobody wants sand in the eye. Nobody. All right, here we go. Okay, we can see the movement here that's taken place from the wind that we produced. Station 2. Okay, Station 3, chemical weathering. All right, so here we have a petri dish, and inside of our petri dish we have a little rock, and in this bottle here with the dropper we have some vinegar. So the instructions tell us that we are to take the rock and put it in the petri dish, and then we are going to drop some vinegar on it and watch what happens. This is going to show us chemical weathering. Here we go. Oh, look. What do you notice is being produced? Please take note. And then what's happening to our rock? Okay, so weathering is the breaking down of rock, and this is the breaking down of rock through chemical processes. So those bubbles that we saw, these tiny little pieces of chalk that we see, this is chalk rock. We can see the small pieces of sediment that have broken off of our rock. If you move it, you can really see it right there. So over time, this happens when we have acid rain. The acid breaks down the rock as it sits on it, and we have small sediments that break off of it. So this is a great example of chemical weathering. Station 3. Okay, Station 4, wave erosion. This is our simulated beach in a box. So you can see here we have our angled sloping sand. It's It's got some shells and some other large particles as well as sand. And then here we have our water that leads up to our beach. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some gentle waves on this beach, in this water, and we're going to watch what happens to the sand erosion. Now you're going to notice that there's not a lot of sand down here in this end right now. Pay attention to that. So I'm just going to create some gentle waves and we'll see what happens. Okay, so as I move the water, you can see that the waves come up to the beach and they pull back, and look what they've done to where the sand is. They pull the sand back out with it. They also bring it up. So it's this constant back and forth of bringing sand up and pulling it back, bringing it up and pulling it back. So when we look at waves, they do move, erosion is a thing. This happens. All right, that is station 4. Get one last look at it. Look at all that erosion down there. Okay, station 5, gravity, erosion, and deposition. So the instructions at station 5 are to designate a person to be gravity. Well, that's going to be me. And then I built a small structure, like a mountain, out of these fun little wooden pieces. So this is meant to be rock, and it's meant to symbolize a mountain. And I'm going to use gravity to show how gravity can cause erosion and deposition. So we'll notice that my structure here is tall, it's got kind of a narrow base. But I'm going to use gravity, and we are going to see what gravity does when it impacts my structure. Ready? Well, that's pretty dramatic, right? We know mountains don't just crumble like that, but look at what happened. The base of this, if this was sediment, all of this collected down here at the bottom. Our mountain itself is much shorter, and what we're looking at is deposited sediments at the bottom that have broken off of the top of our mountain due to gravity. So gravity does participate in the breaking down and moving of rock, the erosion and the depositing of rock in a new spot. So this is station 5. For station 6, you're going to go back to your Canvas assignment page. You're going to go watch video 1 and video 2 to fill in your lab sheet.